today's topic, forgiveness and who do you want me to be? Oh man, I think that camera's kind of dirty. My bad, y'all. Forgiveness and who do you want me to be? Bookwatina.com. Also, I want to let you guys know that I do have a special going right now. To go to my website and check out the special that I have going on for your coaching or your intuitive reading. I've been watching, I don't know if you guys have watched it, but you guys, I like to talk a lot about the dynamic of relationships with family, friends, coworkers, romantic mate, or whatever the situation may be. But I feel like this particular topic, the forgiveness and who do you want me to be, can go general across the board for everybody, right? I feel like a lot of the conversations that people have and communicate is who I want you to be or how you can fit into my life, right? And this is fair. I call these standards, right? Everybody has their own standards. But here's the problem, right? It's good to communicate. It's good to let people know how you feel. It's good to let people know if you want to be in my life, this is where, this is where you can improve or this is where you can be. And the reason why I feel like it's good to share that is because it lets the other person know, hey, you can, if they don't want to meet your standard, they don't have to. The problem is some people deliver this communication as an ultimatum. You cannot make somebody be who you want them to be. This is the part where arguments come in, miscommunications, misunderstandings, because you're trying to make somebody be who they are not because you want them to be who you want them to be, and then you want them to prove it to you on top of that. You cannot do that, right? You can't do that. There have been people in my life that I've had these conversations with, and they want me to be a certain way. You want me to be who you want me to be. You want me to live my life the way you want me to live my life. You feel like you know what's better for me than I know what's better for me. And in some cases, that may even be true. But if I give you kickback and pushback and I tell you I'm not in that space right now or I'm not in that journey, if you get upset, you're in your own misery. I posted this on my Facebook. I posted this quote because this is how I was feeling. You want me to be who you want me to be, and that's why you're miserable. And I'm going to say it again. You want me to be who you want me to be, and that is why you're miserable. And the reason why I say you're miserable is because you're the one that's having the hard time. I don't have a problem with being who I am, right? The problem is you don't want to get rid of me, or you probably want to control me. You also want to control my outcomes on how I should live my life, or control the outcome of how you want me to play a role in your life. But if I'm not there, I'm just not there. And that's okay. And that's the part where I feel like it's hard for people to understand. If you're not naturally a swimmer, and I say if you want to be with me, you're going to have to learn how to swim, because I like to swim. You may get in that water and be like, this is not natural to me. This ain't natural. This ain't right. I'm uncomfortable, right? I don't feel like a fish in water, right? I feel like somebody that doesn't know how to swim, that's trying to swim, and I don't even have a desire for it. But because I love you, I'm going to try it, right? And even when you try it, let's go with the scenario that you don't like it, right? And it's okay that you don't like it. I'm very okay with you not liking it. But what if I come back to you and say, you know, I really tried it and I know you love swimming, but I don't want to do that. But there's other things that we can do. And the person says, no, no. If you can't swim, you're going to have to learn how to swim. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if it's uncomfortable for you. But if you want to be with me, you're going to have to learn how to swim. What? Listen to how crazy that sounds. Let's do this in the reverse, right? I'm going to use this scenario. So I have an area. Have you ever had a scenario where there's a person that gave you an ultimatum to give them an ultimatum so that they could stay with you? And I'm going to say it slowly again. Have you ever had a person give you an ultimatum so that you could give them an ultimatum so that they could stay with you? And if you don't know what I mean, this does not pertain to you, but this is for the people it pertains to. And you're like, Tina, what does this sound like? So let me tell you what this sounds like, and I am going to get to the forgiveness, okay? But this is what it sounds like. This is what it sounds like. Why don't you just tell me what I need to do to change myself so that I can be with you? What happens when the person says, nah, I don't want you to change. I don't want you to do nothing. I don't want to be, I'm done, right? No, but I don't want us to be done. I want you to tell me what I need to do so I can stay with you, so we can stay together, because I don't want us to break up. This is you giving somebody an ultimatum for them to give you an ultimatum so that you can stay with them when they have already decided and shown you and told you that you cannot fit their standard and they're ready to move on. And you're consistently trying to keep that person in that space with you. You cannot do that. Herein lies forgiveness. What happens when the separation or the severance between family, friend, coworker, romantic mate happens, right? I feel like we have all been taught that we have to stay in something that is not aligned with us. It doesn't matter that this person that is in our space, the family, friend, coworker, or romantic mate, it doesn't matter that this person that's in our space is not aligned with us. We have to stay in it until we hate them. We have to stay in it until we have completely exhausted all of our avenues. We've been the ride or die for the person. I mean, we've allowed the person to utilize our emotional, mental, spiritual capacity. And then once we have done that, what happens? Man, I did everything I could for this person, and they just used me, and they, no. The person showed you who they were, and you didn't want to accept that. If you don't want to accept it, that is also cool. But you didn't want to accept who they were. You want to change who they were because you have a fear of loss. Because if I lose this person, what if I never find another good friend? What if I never find another good coworker that I can vibe with and eat lunch with? What if I don't have that connection with my family member? How am I going to create another dynamic like this? How with the romantic partner? How am I ever going to find love again? My question is, if you are operating out of a space of fear of loss, I'm going to lose this person. Why not say, I understand that we are not in alignment right now. Right now. Understanding right now. Right now means right now. Does it mean you won't ever be in alignment again? No. Depending on the situation of what it is. Is space good? Is it good to give people a break? Yes. Is it okay to say, I enjoyed the journey, I love the journey? Is it hurtful? Sometimes yes. Is it disappointing? Sometimes yes. Do you wish the separation would have never happened? Yes. So this is where the forgiveness comes in, right? If there has been any time of emotional, mental, or spiritual discord that has gone on, right? Apologies or sorries definitely, I would think, are necessary. I think a communication that says, hey, you know, I want to respect the space you're in, and that's where I'm at. I want to respect the space you're in. I don't want to change you. I just want to create this space so that you can do your thing, I can do mine, or you can figure out who you are, and I can figure out who I am without you in this space, because right now we're not aligned, and we're trying to force each other to be aligned and be in that space together, right? Now I'm going to tell you something, and I'm going to disclaimer. I told people a while back, part of the reason why I have been in several relationships is because, and I've had several relationships where I've created space intentionally or it wasn't intentional, right? But in my latter life, the separations have been agreed upon, you know, they've been agreed upon separations. And I release those people in love, because I don't stay in it anymore to the point that I hate you. I don't do that anymore. I just recognize who you are and I release you in love. Does that make sense? The part of the lesson of forgiveness when it comes to all these various dynamics that we have, forgiveness to me just means learning the lesson. That's it. That is it. It just means learning the lesson. Learning the lesson. What did I learn from being with this romantic partner? What did I learn from being with this friend? What did I learn from being, friends with this coworker? What did I learn from this family member? Like, what did I learn? Right? So when I go into the next relationship, I can find people that are in it to win it. And that's why I said my disclaimer. I don't feel as though I am a runner, but I feel like I'm a person who has learned that I appreciate it more if I do not fit your standard. I'm okay with that. If I don't fit your standard, if you tell me, and if we communicate and it's something that is not aligned, it's okay for both of us to walk away, because I don't want us to get to a point where we hate each other, or we're talking about each other, or this person hurt me so bad, right? Any contact or any relationships, any dynamic, family, friend, coworker, romantic mate, any of those spaces that I have been in with people, I'm grateful for. Pleasant and unpleasant. For without those experiences, I would not be who I am today. So therefore, I am grateful. And I actually had that as one of my affirmations. I am grateful for this experience, because without it, I would not be who I am today. And every day, it's a chance to grow and be better. Every day for me. So I, in the past, Was not choosing people that were in it to win it. And I told my friend, I really need to work on that because I have to learn what in it to win it means. In it to win it, when it comes to the dynamic of relationships with family, friends, co-workers, and romantic mate, in it to win it, I believe I was taught you're supposed to find your forever mate and your forever person. But after doing my astrology chart and learning more about myself, there were some things that came out that I really, honestly, I didn't like it. I'm like, why is it saying that I'm going to have all of these and maybe I'll never find these type of people? What was explained to me was, and shout out to Soki, because it clicked later on, is that because I am a person that is always growing and changing, facts, Tina, this is the way I interpret it. Everybody's not going to change and grow with you. Some people you're going to leave behind, and some people are going to grow past you and surpass you and leave you behind. That's just how it is. You're not a stagnant person. You're not a person that's just going to sit there in that one spot, right? If that person is not changing and growing and shifting with you, you in essence become bored, Tina. So that person has to be able to keep up with you as far as changing and shifting and growing and adventure, wanting to do things. If that person is not there and they're only good for that, for that particular moment and that particular journey, once that journey is up, they're going to be gone. So herein lies forgiveness, right? Herein lies releasing, right? And letting go, right? I have always had the ability, and I'm just now having this epiphany. I have the ability to feel when people are disconnected from me, and I feel it strongly, and I usually feel it before they tell me, right? The intuition, the discernment, I usually feel it before they tell me. And the people will be like, no. And I know there are other people out there that are like myself. But when I start to feel that in the past, when I would feel that they were going to leave, because I was codependent on their presence, in not the positive sense of the term, but in the psychological, shout out to T. Michelle, the psychological portion, which means that I am dependent on another person's presence or dependent on another person to control my moods. That's a short version of how I'm going to put that, right? Because I was codependent on those people, and then I also had a fear of a replacement. I would never find it a replacement, right? Now I don't operate in that space. Now that I'm on the other end, I'm like, I am who I am. It's kind of like Popeye the Sailor Man. I am who I am, and I am who they say I am. I'm Popeye the Sailor Man, whatever it was he used to say, right? I know who I am now, and I know who I need to be and I want to be. And having people trying to tell me who to be, I'm like, damn, that used to be me. Ugh. That is such a stressful life. You can't even focus on yourself. You can't even enjoy your own life because you're so focused on trying to change somebody to be who you want them to be so that they can stay in your space. Stop giving people ultimatums. It's okay to let them go. And even if you've been friends with them for a very long time, it doesn't mean that you can't reconnect at a later date. It just means not now. And it's better to give space than it is to get to a point where you can't stand a person anymore. You hate them. You know what I'm saying? Forgiveness is learning from the situation and being able to create a solution so that it won't happen again. And then the wisdom part of, if you come across a person that is having this similar experience, it's okay to share with someone so that they don't have to go through the experience that you've gone through. And to me, that is forgiveness. I love you guys. Y'all have an awesome and amazing day. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps you. And if you are a person that is giving people ultimatums so that you can stay with them, uh, 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 we're not doing that no more, right? We're accepting people for just who they are. We're communicating with them effectively. If the person is in alignment, then we make things happen. If the person is not in alignment, we either going to treat them with a long handle spoon, we're going to let them go, but we're not going to stay in it and try to force people so that we are all miserable, or that you're miserable, you know, until you hate them or don't like them, or you're angry, right? We're not doing it no more. I love you guys. Have an awesome and amazing day. If you want to talk about it, or you have, you need help with it, you go to my website, bookwithtina.com, book your session, and I got you. I love you guys. Be awesome. Be amazing. Be great. Be wonderful. Thank you for listening. Make sure that you compliment at least 10 people a day, because you never know whose life you can change. You never know whose vibration you can raise up, and you never know what door of opportunity you can open up by simply paying a compliment. Love you. Bye. Peace.